So if you guys haven't been keeping up with music drama, there is currently some shenanigans going down involving Baby No Money, or BB No Dollar Sign, and he's currently finding himself in hot water because despite his online presence of being this guy who supports real art and real artists and anti-AI art, it's come out that he is lowballing artists as well as potentially scamming them, which is why this tweet ended up going viral. Baby No Money says, "Who's next? Me on my way to fight AI slop and commission every real artist." And this post ended up getting a community note saying, for transparency, Baby No Money agreed to interact with the post of a finished product from an artist he commissioned and failed to do so. He convinced the artist to lower the commission rate down to 50%. So in like layman's terms and common sense terms, basically what happened was Baby No Money's team reached out to a content creator, an art creator, an artist, and said, hey, if you create some art for us, we can give you like 50% of what you do, right? Like you charge this much, we'll give you half of that, and we'll also promote you, right? We're going to shout you out to a large audience of, what does Baby No Money have? 918,000 followers. So, you know, surely as an artist, you'd be like, I mean, I prefer the money, but 918,000 followers, you know, it's nothing to sneeze at. So, you know, I'm willing to take that trade. To which Baby No Money ended up basically pulling out of this deal, ghosting this creator, and trying to blame a whole bunch of other reasons, such as them creating not safe for work art, which is very obvious from just one look at this person's page, and them even telling Baby No Money that they create not safe for work art, and also just unfollowing the creator. And here is the post that the community note linked to. Before we get into that, this guy's name is literally SlayeddotCoom, and his thing in parentheses says commission. You can't see that, and then also click on this guy's page, go to media, and then see like, you know, naked 3D models of women and whatnot, and then also try to pretend like you didn't know this guy was a not safe for work artist. The post says this: for the record, if you're an NSFW artist, don't collab with him. He claimed he could only afford 50% of my rate for animations, claimed he loved the animation, but refused to post or retweet it after realizing 3 months later that I was an NSFW artist, even though I said multiple times that I was. Again, his name is SlayeddotCoom. Instead, only leaving a comment under my post, even though he posts directly or retweets others' artists. Then, when I tried to communicate about it with him, he ghosted completely. Again, yeah. Like, if you say you're going to shout someone out, that usually doesn't mean, like, I'm just going to comment, oh, cool art. Like, that's not really a shout out. A shout out would be reposting, you know, quote tweeting. Say, this is amazing, guys. Go show some love to this guy. If I just go on your post and like it after you spend dozens of hours creating something, that's not a shout out. And again, you're falling off on half of the deal that you guys made to create this artwork. And he also ended up including these screenshots from their Discord call. Slayed X Baby No Money Animation 350. Okay, there y'all go. And you can see Slayed says, "Ayo, Baby No Money just dropped his music video for Come to Brazil. Here's the animation I made for him. Love that he supports real artists," featuring VO VTuber and Brazilian Miko. BBNO model originally made by Niku30. SlayeddotCoom then replies on February 8, which is a day after this post, saying, "So I really believe in open and honest communication, so when you told me that Alex is going to interact with my post, and all I see is that he's unfollowed me, it leaves me very confused. Throughout this whole project, you guys only responded positively to the progress, and I kept you updated continuously as I worked on it. You all knew from the jump that I made corn animations, so I can't imagine that there's suddenly an issue. I didn't even argue when you guys countered to only offer 50% of my rate because I was hoping that the exposure for animating for Baby No Money would make up for that. It took me a whole month of work and multiple other people even contributed for free because they thought they would also get exposure from this project. Now I know never work exposure is one of the first rules of being a creative, but I figured with Alex's pro artist stance being so publicly apparent that it would really be beneficial and fun to show people that NSFW artists can do more than just NSFW art. I'm just really confused because it feels like the words and actions aren't aligning. If I did something wrong, please at least let me know so I don't make a similar mistake in the future." 2 days passed. Slayer then says, I just have to say, after all this, it's incredibly disappointing that you only left a comment under the post instead of retweeting like you have with other animations, despite the claim that it was one of your favorites. I get it. You're ashamed of associating with an NSFW artist. I just wish you hadn't hired me for half my rate in the first place. Which, yeah. I might get some flack if I just come out and say, oh, yep, that's a scam. You know, words are, it's a strong word. It really is a strong word, but it's the only real word I can think of it. If anything, you might be able to say it's deception, right? It comes across as like, dude, like, come on, lower the price in half, cut it in half, bro. Let's be friends. You know, I'm going to shout you out, man. You deserve it. Your work is so great. And then you don't shout them out, right? You can't then change it around and say, oh, well, like shout a comment's a shout out. It's not. We all know it's not, right? On top of the whole NSFW excuse, like, oh, I can't shout you out, bro, because you do NSFW art. You knew this when you decided to commission this person. And Slade is completely fair by saying, BBNO Money is always posting stuff, trashing AI art, right? Calling out AI artists, posting about how much he loves artwork and reposting other people's artwork and whatnot. And like the whole NSFW thing, like I get it, but like this guy's own content is not safe for work. Like he literally in the video I showed you in the intro, he's made videos with Vanilla Mace, who was like an OF girl. Literally you can find pictures of that chick butt naked on the internet, right? Obviously, she consented to that. She sold those images. He doesn't mind working with a girl who showed everything on OnlyFans, but reposting artwork that you yourself requested and commissioned from an NSFW artist is like where he draws the line. It's just really strange. And here's another example. BBNO Money with Young Gravy and Ari Kitsia. This chick is an OF girl, and I'm not talking just posting some teases. This chick is posting some crazy content. Do your research if you don't believe me for whatever reason. Here he is again with even more adult content creators. This is Peach Jars. I think that's Jessica Negri. Yeah, Jessica Negri. I don't know who this one is. And then Vanilla Mace, right? So 3 girls, or that one, she just posts thirst traps or whatever. 2 girls who be posted full-on booty butt naked pictures. He doesn't mind posting pictures with them, you know, posting content promoting them. But when it comes to an NSFW artist, he doesn't want to follow them because he doesn't want to see NSFW, yet he's literally friends with an adult content creators. You guys see how like none of this is really adding up? Now, basically after this BBNO Money post ended up going viral, right, getting millions of views, SlayeddotCoom ended up posting an update talking about how BBNO Money reached out to attempt to apologize, pay me off to squash the beef. I told him I didn't want the money or recognition, just for him to acknowledge and apologize to the NSFW community. Here's my statement I made to him. It's a pretty long statement basically saying, honestly, another $350 isn't the issue for me. So that would imply BBNO Money was only going to pay this artist $700 for a pretty well-made animation. But I guess the issue with this post is he didn't end up including BBNO Money's side, I guess to just protect his privacy and whatnot. So, you know, people will look at this one and say like, okay, where's BBNO Money's side? You can kind of see up here, like it kind of looks like he said something. I don't want to imply that, but if he did say something, there it is. And it also ended up coming out that there are a few more different artists that BBNO Money, you know, tricked. Now, Slade ended up posting this one saying this isn't the only SFW, safe for work artist I've learned about now who has experienced something similar, if not the same. I'm going to start working on a quick little animation, blah, blah, blah. And now this artist by the name of Rasami ended up sharing this, saying, I was commissioned last year by a big artist I won't mention. It was an animation meme. Since it was an unreleased song, I had to come up with the animation by myself. It took me 4 days to finish it. They offered me $100 as thanks. I haven't stated my prices yet, so I assumed that's how the pricing goes, but I was saddened by it. And I asked my friends if it's okay. They said no, I should ask them if I can increase at least to 150 to 200. They paid me 150, but I think it's very underpriced. My Facebook friends made me realize that I guess I was just scared and blinded. So this one more again just comes down to underpaying artists, right? You want to encourage people to pay artists. You want to work with all these artists and, you know, AI bad and all that. If you are a small creator, okay, it makes sense. You want to work with artists, you don't really have a lot to do. That's where you can be like, I don't have the most money. I'd love to shout you out though. We could work on something, if I blow up, I'll remember you. Maybe we can work together again. When I got more money, you'll get more money. Baby No Money is already an established creator who makes a lot of money, offering $100 for someone's work that took multiple days. Again, you're not really like entitled to be paid this much, this much, this much. It just kind of comes across as scummy when you are a celebrity. You're spending all this money on making music videos and doing all this stuff, spouting to the high heavens about how great art is and AI is bad. Yet when it comes to you, supporting a real artist, you pay them peanuts, right? Now, Baby No Money ended up responding to the drama by saying, "Been seeing a lot of hate. I want you all to know I don't give a fuck." So very mature response, right? Of course, when people are accusing you of like scamming them possibly or lowballing them, even possibly being a grifter, you're all out here screaming again. God himself knows by now that you hate AI art and support real artists, yet when a real artist comes around, you won't repost their artwork. You won't honor your side of a deal while also undercutting them for the work they provided you. Obviously, this would cause Slade or SlayeddotCoomer to drop some more posts of more artists that Baby No Money's team harassed. And here are email back and forth with another artist. I kind of wish the name was uncensored, but for privacy, I kind of understand, whatever. It's this guy named Sandro, apparently with BB No Money's team, basically saying, "I'm reaching out on behalf of our client, Baby No Money. We have a new song called or ADD, that'll be coming out on October 7th. We would like to commission you." And throughout this whole back and forth, this artist is basically telling Sandro here that, these are my prices, and I'm pretty busy. I'm a bit backed up with commissions and whatnot. I don't really have the time, but I can get back to you. To which this Sandro person keeps spamming them like, "Hey, you free? You free? You free?" When they finally, take some time to say, "How much are you going to pay me?" Sandro's willing to pay them $900, which is again, undercutting this creator. Could we do 900 in total? You can have 5 to 6 days to post each. 7 different songs should be posted. I think we should up that a bit more. I value my art at maybe $12.50. If you agree, when do you think it should start? But if not, that's completely understandable. To which Vasily says, "It's a bit too much for us given our budget. $9.50 is really the maximum I can do, plus 50 for every 500k views." So there we have a bit of that shout out element there, right? Where it's like, if your videos get views, if people like it that much where they're going to view it and the video pops off, we'll give you another $50, which is crazy because if you ever do YouTube and whatnot, if you get 500k views, you're going to make a whole lot more than $50. Again, considering the fact that this artist is completely doing all the work, right? You're giving them like a crumb when you're taking like the whole pie, right? Again, that's kind of bound to happen. Baby No Money's a celebrity here with these smaller artists. It does again just kind of go down to show you that this person grifting as this humongous supporter of artists is doing whatever they can in their power to undercut and lowball people who they claim to want to support so much. And to no surprise at all, yet another artist was tricked by Baby No Money. Another artist Experience repeatedly promises to repost artists to give them exposure in order to make them willing to accept low wages. Then he doesn't hold up his end of the deal, ghosts people hoping that they are too small to do anything. It's not just NSFW artists, he's doing it to artists in general. He's going to try to ignore this until he can grift to a new audience. We have an artist by the name of DayXBusy, where DayXBusy ends up saying, yeah, he just copy and paste promising reposts and exposure, and then straight up lies, regardless of if you make NSFW or not. So you see Baby No Money's response right here, basically asking what's their price and whatnot, so that they can haggle it down and try to get it even cheaper. Now, Day ended up giving their side, saying, here I go. I was commissioned for his Come to Brazil. I think it was unfair how many artists were being treated selectively. It made me sad and disappointed because I was so excited getting commissioned by him just to see that in the end it was just a performative act. Ones that do numbers were the only ones he interacted with, like shared in his stories and commented on even in his main account. Meanwhile, I saw other small artists that he commissioned getting ignored and brushed it off as a collab on his old account and Instagram with no comments. Barely interaction, my part wasn't reposted, not even commented on my posts or tweets, just like it truly hurts me. I felt ignored or that my animation just wasn't it, and that I didn't do good and it was just sad. And then as my pink colored glasses fade off, his actions started appearing more and more performative as I see him repeating that whole anti-AI speech, and I just could tell, and it made me feel ashamed to be a part of his song, which felt it was filled with a bunch of Brazil stereotypes, and that's my fault. So, yeah, this is pretty massive for Baby No Money. Yeah, it's not as crazy as some of the other allegations we cover on this channel, like SA and a whole bunch of other like illegal felony level things. But a person who builds their entire platform on one philosophy and is completely going against that with their private behind the scenes actions deserves to be called out. And this is a perfect example of that. Baby No Money is someone who you could say virtue signals. You know, he's always doing like drag and pretending he's like one with the trans crowd and the LGBT crowd. Good for him, right? Good for them. Good for that community. Whatever. It's like Women's History Month now. Good for the women. But he also does the whole thing with the whole AI crap. The I hate AI. AI is bad. Pick up a pencil. I love real artists, but I'm going to undercut you. I love real artists, but I'm not going to end up with a bargain of reposting your artwork if you do it for me at a lower price. I love real artists, but I also don't love real artists. That's what it comes down to, right? Is it going to come out that this guy also doesn't really support all the other stuff he pretends to support? Who knows? Maybe it's all just one big massive grift, or maybe there's all just one big massive understanding, and his team is getting him in some trouble by trying to commission people, undercut them, and then not following up on their end of the deal. Who knows, right? I want to know what you guys think down below. I'm going to tag everyone involved in this video down below that I can, right? They're NSFW accounts, so YouTube's a little iffy, but if they're down there, go show them some love, go support them. Appreciate you guys watching. Peace out.